Oh.
Yeah, so if you just join us, there's a poll that is currently showing on your screen. Please do fill the form. We have received 13% so far. So at least we should reach 80% before we end the poll. So kindly take your time. We have 8 minutes left for this exercise. Yeah, so if you just join us, there's we are at 20, we are at 33%. We're going well. Please do fill the, do complete the poll. This is an exercise that all of us are supposed to do before we start the session. You should be seeing the poll in your screen. And I see some people have not enabled the audio. I see Oja Charles has not enabled the audio. You will not be able to get us if you don't enable your audio. Yeah, we are now at 52%. Let's do this quickly. We are at 52% and we are left with 5 minutes to complete the exercise. We are at 55% now. Yeah, we are going well. We should make it to 80%, please. Some of you might not be seeing the poll, maybe because of the version of Zoom you're using on your device. Yeah, if you're not using an updated version of Zoom, sometimes you may not be able to see the poll. But I trust that the majority of you are seeing. We are now at 61%. We are now at 61%. think majority of you are feeling it. We are at 64%. Who is a digital citizen according to you? Why is digital literacy important? Can you use Gmail to write an email? What is smishing? Which of these is a strong password? What is a web browser? What do app permissions do on your phone? Why is critical thinking important? And which social media platform is designed for job searches? And what's the best way to start networking online? Yeah, so these are just questions to test your digital literacy skills. And yeah,
Hello,
Nancy.
This is Robin. I'm not seeing the questions.
You're probably not seeing the questions because of the version of Zoom you're using. If you have not updated your app, so definitely you will not be seeing it. It is possibly because of the version of the Zoom you have on your device. We are at 64, we are at 67%, 69%, yeah, good. I think, please, if you are not speaking, do not unmute yourself. We should stay muted. We are left with 2 minutes to end the poll. Only 2 minutes left to end the poll. I think if I unmute you more than 2 times and you continue to mute if I mute you more than 2 times and you continue to unmute yourself, we'll remove you out of the meeting. This is to ensure that we do not entertain unnecessary interruption. Yeah, so we have reached, our time is 1 minute left. So maybe I can just end the poll and then let me share the results. Are you seeing the results now on your screen? Are you seeing the result? Can somebody confirm that?
Yes, we're seeing.
Okay, great.
Yes, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. I know I'm seeing it.
Not seeing.
So majority of you say that a digital citizen is a person that uses technology to their advantage. And then many of you say that digital literacy is important because it helps them make use of technology to their advantage. And then most of you agree that you can use Gmail to write an email. And then majority of you say that smishing is a scam sent via SMS. And most of you say that Big Ben 345 exclamation and asterisk is a strong password. And some of you say, most of you say that a web browser retrieves information from the internet. And then majority of you say that app permissions manage what information apps can access. And why is critical thinking important? Majority of you say it helps people stay positive about life. And then Number 9, majority of you say LinkedIn is social media designed for job searches. And majority of you say that the best way to network online is to connect with people with whom we have similar interests. Yeah, nice ideas there. And yeah, over to you. Today, our session is on digital literacy fundamentals, and our facilitator is Ulak Matthew Thomas. Ulak Matthew Thomas is the Dean for the College of Computer Science and Information Technology at Stanford International University, and he is also the Chief Executive Officer of Altrum Technologies. He's a consultancy firm that works on issues around computer and ICT. So he'll be taking us through this 4-hour session, 2 hours today, and then 2 hours tomorrow. So let's all be very attentive, and we should note down any questions we have. When the opportunity comes to ask questions, you will definitely be given that opportunity. Over to you, Ulak. Ulak is joining us from Capoeira, and in case he has internet issues, we will be able to understand. Ulak, over to you. Ulak, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, we are getting you now.
Hello.
Over to you.
Okay. Yes, thank you. I was saying that as you have already introduced me, I greet all of you, and it is a pleasure to meet you today and discuss with you, though not physically, at least we are connected virtually. Today, we are going to start our presentation on digital literature fundamentals. So what does digital literature mean? Digital literature is about being able to make sense of digital media, which is basically those social application or the networking applications out there, which we can access through our electronic devices, such as computers and laptops, plus phones, with the help of internet connection.
Hey, are you going to share a screen, or because they are complaining?
Yes, I will share the screen. I will share the screen.
Okay, he's going to share it, Leju. He will share it. So let's be patient with him.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it is appearing now.
Yes, yes,
it is appearing. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Since I've already talked on digital literature, then we need to understand what is digital citizenship. As we know that the digital world is a future dimension where people interact virtually, like how we are doing currently, which wasn't the case few years ago. So we can see that technology keeps changing, and with it, new advancements come into place. So digital citizenship is our behavior in the world, including how we treat data and other people, and participation and contributions.
Hey, they are requesting you to put the presentation, the slides in presentation in slideshow. Yeah.
Slideshow. Yeah, I'll be going step by step.
Yeah, you know, these guys.
Please just click on that button that looks like a tampon. On the right hand. On the right hand side. Close to the zoom button. That looks like the negative one. You click on that button.
Oh, looks like we've lost Ulak probably due to network issues. Like I said, he's joining from Kapoita. And I know the internet is not all that good there. Let's give him a few minutes so that he can rejoin. Yeah, I see he's back. Yes, Ulak, welcome back. Looks like the internet kicked you out. And your audio is not enabled. Welcome back, Ulak. Sorry about the internet issue. Ulak, your mic is off.
Are you now getting me?
Yeah, clear. So what you do is you put the slides in a presentation mode.
Yes.
There's that button near the negative when you are in the Zoom. Yeah. Good.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can proceed now.
Okay. I say that we are living in a digital age whereby most of the things we do are virtually, which includes work meetings, classes, etc. But with that, we also need to take precautions on how we are supposed to keep our details safe online, not to be stolen. We have an advantage that the digital world is open to everyone and everyone can use. There is no segregation, provided you have the right device and access to the internet. And the most important thing is that you do not have to go in a particular place to become part of this world. You can become part of the digital world from anywhere, including your room, provided you have internet connection. So what are the tips to become a good digital citizen? One, you have to balance your time properly. The time you spend online and the time you spend offline. There must be at least proper balance so that one part should not be affected. Because if you are to focus more of being online, then your daily activities may not be accomplished, and that becomes a challenge. Secondly, you need to respect people and also listen to them. We are not supposed to use the net for hate speech or to belittle others. We all gather there in order to learn from each other. And that is our collective responsibility, which makes up the third point. You need to be responsible with things that you share online and how you interact with people matters a lot. Finally, we are supposed to keep our devices secure. But how do we keep our devices secure? We keep our devices secure with the use of passwords and not sharing our information with anyone. We shall come to see that later under online security. So what are the things that you can do as a digital citizen? You can pay bills through online banking. You can shop through applications and online order. Websites such as Amazon, Alibaba are some of e-commerce websites out there that can provide us with the products that we need from our point of comfort. You can place an order and your product will be delivered to you. You do not have to go physically to the market. We also have to learn, we also get opportunity to learn new skills due to networking. The people that you meet online, you get to share ideas with them and also learn from them. The advantage is also that families and friends get connected. No matter the distance, we feel that we are closer to each other. Like today's session, we are all from different parts of the country, or those who are outside South Sudan, but here we are gathered and listening to each other. And that is possible because of internet. So before I go into this digital toolkit for communities, I would like to ask a question that why do we need to become digital citizens? What do you think are the advantages that we can obtain by becoming part of this world in which there is not discrimination and whereby everyone is treated equal? Of course, this digital world is just like our part here, made up of good and bad people. So precautions that we have to take when accessing the net is to make sure that everything about us remains private. And we do not have to share that with anyone.
Okay, so maybe they can put up their hand. Yeah?
Yes, those who have questions may ask so that I can respond to them.
No, to answer your question, I thought you asked a question, yeah?
Yeah, I did. I asked a question. That
Yeah,
why
so you
do we
can
need to be part of this one?
Okay, yeah. So
And
you,
what
in
are
case
things that
you
we
like to
can
share
learn
your
from
thoughts,
there?
yeah. So yeah, in case you like to share your thoughts, you can raise your hand up, and then we can be able to point you out. Why do you think? Why do you want to be part of the digital world, and what are the things that you really want from the digital world? Why do you want to become a digital citizen? Yes, I can see Dominic. Yes, Dominic, you're welcome.
Africano.
Okay, thank you.
Are you speaking, Dominic? We are not getting you. Okay, maybe we give the chance to Buba. Yes, Buba, over to you.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for this very important training. I am all the way in Banjul in Gambia. I just want to add on to your question. I think it is important that everybody in this today's war become part of the digital community, because barely anything that you would do will not require internet. And then it is very, very important for all the work that we do on a day-to-day basis of this
Your voice. I'm not getting anything at all. Hello?
Looks like we lost him.
I'm sorry, I think I lost connection.
Yeah, we lost you. You can
I'm here,
continue.
I'm back. Okay, I don't know where I stopped. What I was saying is it is very important to be part of the digital community, because barely anything that we do now that does not need the use of the internet. It makes life easy. It makes you can easily do your financial transactions. You can easily communicate. You can easily get to people to help you. You meet with professionals who will be able to help you enhance the work that you do. So I think it's also important for you to know how to be safe on the internet. What kind of uh, applications that if you use, you will be safe. What kind of activities that you will need to do on the internet. This is important, and I think this is why for me this training is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Buba. That was nice. And yeah, Gale, and then yeah, Gale, you have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. To me, as the world is moving towards technology and a digital community becomes a small village that everybody fits in, it's quite important that everybody becomes part of the digital community, because it's part of our life. Every single moment we engage using digital toolkits, and want to make sure that we learn and understand how we can best fit into this technology. Because the world advances towards technology, no one will want to be left behind. As such, this training gives us a very important, significant skills that enable us to fit into this village, enable us share our experience, enable us network, and become one community.
Good. Thank you, Gale. And then Zabir, and then Ahmed, and then we give it back to Ulak. Yes, Zabir Yel. Zabir Yel.
Yes.
Yeah, Tim, thank you very much. I am grateful to be here today again. And I am glad that I have shared the platform with the team of digital literacy experts. Basically, I just needed to say that in the world of today, each and everyone needs to be literally educated on how to use digital apps, to have basic digital knowledge, because having knowledge about digital helps you connect you with friends. You are able or implement your activities that you do, maybe in your place of work, or anything that you need to share with somebody who is far away from where you are. I would simply like to say that each and everyone in this life of today requires to have knowledge of how to use digital network or digital applications. So it is part of the life today that everyone is supposed to be digital educated or having knowledge or skills about the use of the digital. So it's become part of life, and I would rather say this is why the attendance is so huge today. It's because it touches our life and it connects us with how the life of today goes about. So
Okay, thank you so much, Zabir Yel. And yeah, I see Ahmed, you are trying to still connect your audio, but in case you're getting me, over to you, Ahmed.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're getting me loud and clear. I will
Yeah,
just
we
make
are
a summary of all the earlier speakers on the importance and the relevance of the digital transformation and the literacy. You know, just to summarize, I believe it is very important for each and everybody all over the world to get and create a sense of belonging, because digitalization is now the direction for every country, every person in this world. I would not want to re-echo what has already been said, and I will summarize it at that. Thank you.
Yes, can I supplement something?
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to supplement something on this digital training, because for me it is the first time that I have joined, and so really touched on the other things that you people have been sharing. So I should have to add in my voice and say something about this. I think most of the things have been said about this digital citizen, and I think all of us are interested in this. And that is why we have this attendant that I have just seen today. And so I would like to say that, yeah, thank you.
Okay, then over to you, Ulak, and thank you all for sharing your thoughts. Really nice hearing from you. Over to you, Ulak.
Okay. Thank you all for those who have participated by saying something. I can conclude that most of the focus is mostly about security part and then how to use those tools. As for the security part, we are going to cover it ahead when we come under online security. Okay. And thank you all for the answers. Now we shall come to the second phase, which are basically the different tools that are available for us as people who are users of the internet. There are very many of them, and I couldn't cover all, but I had to choose some based on the different categories in which they fall. So here we are going to start with the introduction. It says that the world is changing, work and collaborating remotely using digital tool is becoming much more a commonplace. Of course, you may find people from different parts of the world working on the same project, and there are some tools that they have to use to track the progress of their project from wherever location they might be. So what are the things that you need? First, for most of these tools available, you need to have an email address, which is one of the requirements for almost all applications online if you are going to use them. And secondly, you need to have access to the net, and also you need to have an IT device, which can either be a computer, a phone, or a tablet. So if you are working online, collaborating online, what are some of the tools that you may use, or some of the applications that you may use? We have which is of course free. Once you have an email address, it becomes as part of the package of things provided by Google to the different users. The Google Drive comprises a whole section of useful tools. And those tools can be documents, can be spreadsheets, can be calendars, can be what? Forms, which are necessary for some of the work that we do, or almost most of the projects that are conducted. So Google Drive is one of the most important tools that you need to know how to use the different applications that come with it. Just like any other, there are also advantages and disadvantages. The advantage of Google Drive is that it combines all of Google's online productivity tools. All the tools of Google are found within the Google space. But the disadvantage is that you must have internet to access. So once you are not able to afford internet connection, then it will not be possible for you, the user, to use that tool. The second, we have this Zoom that we are currently using, which is a video conferencing tool for video call meetings, hosting webinars, etc. And yes, and on, just like what we are now, an online community, we have all met here using this tool. So the advantage is that it is user friendly. It is not that complicated for one to use it. But the disadvantage is also related to costs. Of course, it is most of the time free for the first 40 minutes, and then it keeps breaking. And the participants of 100, if you have more than that, or you want to use for a longer duration, then you have to pay for it. So we can see that the disadvantage for the two so far is basically finance. Then the third tool is Slack, which is basic. I think most people are not aware of this. It is also a messaging and chat tool or application. It is very good for large groups or teams. If you are very many, it is good to use this. And then the disadvantage is that on the free version, you cannot have a group call or a group video call. It will be one-to-one if you are using the free version. So the paid version is the one that have more features for one to use. In addition to Slack, we have the WeTransfer. Of course, here I've tried to summarize them, but I'll explain them. WeTransfer is a file transfer tool that enables you to send large files like photos or videos to other people. This can be very useful if you want to send files that are too large for email. So to use it, you basically need to have email address and the recipient's email address, and then you upload the file via this application. So what is the advantage? It is straightforward to use, easy as well. It also allows you to transfer large files less than 2 GB for free. Once your file size is more than 2 GB, then you have to pay if you want to transfer such file online. So that is the disadvantage of WeTransfer. Any file more than 2 GB will have to cost you some money, but less than that, of course, will be free. Then there is WhatsApp that we are all aware of. And then we have the Doodle. Doodle is an application that is easy to use for scheduling, meetings, so if you want to organize for a meeting and you do not know which time your colleague can be free, you can use this application, and then everyone will give the time in which they are free. Then the application will come up with some conclusion, and then you people will sit down and see which time is suitable based on what the application will suggest. Okay, that is Doodle. Then we have Trello, which is basically a project management tool that takes form of a visual pinboard where you can add tasks on your to-do lists. It's also useful for setting out projects and tasks. That gives great overview of everything you are working on. The advantage is that it is visually engaging and user-friendly. It also integrates easily with applications such as Google Drive. And then the disadvantage of Trello, it doesn't have a feature of seeing how your project maps out over the time. So you cannot see the progress, but it just gives you the current changes of the whole project. Then we have Lumio. Trello, of course, works the same as Asana. Then the last one, we have Lumio, which gives you only 14 days trial for free. After that, they'll ask you to pay. And if you can't, then it will not work. But why do we need this? So if you are not so sure in decision making, then Lumio is a decision-making program that uses mixture of discussion. Okay, uses mixture of discussions. Like in case I have, like here, if you have gathered now, and we need to come up with a decision, and whatever I decide is not same like each of you, then we can make use of Lumio. It will come up with a decision for us, and then we can see if it is actually good with everyone or not. So these are some of the tools that you can use for collaborating with your fellow colleagues. Then we have the social media management tools like Buffer. Buffer allows you to make posts, and then you choose a date in which that post is supposed to be published online. So like if I want to create a post like tomorrow, and I know that tomorrow I will not be available online, I can create the post today using Buffer. And I set the time to be tomorrow, sorry, the date to be tomorrow, and the exact time in which I want the post to be published. And then I leave it there. So when the time comes tomorrow, even if I'm offline, my post will be published on Facebook. Once you have connected your Facebook to Buffer, there will be that connection. So whatever you do on Buffer will be published there on Facebook. So this one also saves us time. If I know that tomorrow I'm going to have a very tight schedule, I can do my whole program today or whatever I want to post for the next 3 days, and I specify the days and time on which those posts are supposed to be published, and they'll be published in that order with the help of Buffer and Hootsuite. And then we have other category of tools that helps us to design things online, and Canva is one of them. With Canva, it comes with a lot of templates. There are others that you have to pay for, but there are others that are free. So if you have interest in graphic design and you are starting from scratch, with the help of Canva, your work will be simplified. In regards to graphic design. And finally, you know, these days it is hard for one to specialize in one profession. Here you do this, and then after sometimes you change to another. So if you are interested in website development, you want to develop website for people so that you earn money, and you do not have background in coding, then you are covered with the Wix and WordPress. Wix is similar to WordPress, whereby you just have to drag and drop the way the design of how the website is supposed to do. You don't need to have knowledge in programming. So this can also give us, those who are digital citizens, an advantage. In case you have studied a particular course and things are not working out, you can easily shift to another, which is really good because you'll get to learn new things and also expand your knowledge set or a skill set. So those are some tools that I have selected for this presentation, and there are very many more that are out there. You can go and explore and see which ones are good. But all are there for your use as a digital citizen. And those which are of paid versions, if you pay for them, you can have access to all the features that they offer with no limitations. And those who cannot afford, you go for the free versions. Of course, there will be some limitations, but still you'll be able to use the software for your advantage. So those are some of the tools I've selected for today. And if you have others that are not covered, you can also share with us. Thank you. So in case you have any question to ask based on what I have explained so far, you are free to ask.
Good, excellent. Thank you so much, Ulak, for introducing those very important digital tools that each of us will need to exploit their free time to be able to make the very good use of it. For instance, the weight transfer is very important if you're sharing files, very large files. And then WhatsApp, all of us know how important it is. Doodle for scheduling meetings. We know even some people here are project managers, program managers, and sometimes they find it very hard to schedule meetings. So we did. Also, there's another one called Calendly. So with Calendly, it's also very important, especially for human resource managers. And when you're looking forward towards scheduling interviews or seeing that you get to meet people at different times without seeing that your schedule is interrupted. And I have shared all the links in the chat box. You should be able to explore, especially those who are using computers. Right now, you can just click on any of the links I have shared for you to be able to sort of look into how those tools can be to your advantage. So, Ulak, you can continue.
Okay, thank you. Now we are in the third chapter, which is basically the online safety, which is the most important part of today's, one of the most important parts of today's presentation. So if you are online, you need to make sure that every click that you are going to make is safe. Of course, we know that the internet is full of opportunities, but at the same time, it is also full of crimes. And if you are not careful, you will fall a victim to this. So how can one become a victim? We know that those who are criminals on the internet are called hackers. But what makes them to be like that? And how do they manage to convince people to give up information that in actual sense cannot be given out? Criminals, they have knowledge of what we call as social engineering. Basically, you trick a human being to give you information that they cannot usually share. And social engineering comes in different forms. Of course, that is the foundation actually of hacking. We know hacking whereby someone just writes a code in order to access your credentials, but that is not the whole picture. Hackers, the first thing they do is to understand how the human mind works. They'll find a way the way in which they can be able to retrieve the information from you because they are smart. They are after any kind of private information that you can give them, which is from bank account details to your password and even your identity. So your online safety begins with you knowing how to manage your privacy settings. How do you manage your privacy settings? Of course, we usually download applications so that we can use. And those applications, for us to use them, we have to give them access to our devices. The most important thing is you need to limit what access the app can have on your phone, because your privacy is a huge part of your online safety. You have the power to decide what information the app is allowed to access and what information it is not allowed to access. So there are some applications that initially, when you install them, they look good and they tend to perform the right things that you need. But at the background, they are collecting your information. And those kind of applications fall under what we call as the Trojan attack. The thing, you'll be using it without knowing what it is actually doing. So the access that you are giving, it is you that permits it. And with that, you always have to be careful with what kind of permission you are giving. The second is password, which is actually one of the most important things when you are going to access the net. So what kind of passwords are we allowed to use? As you can see that you should never use a password like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You using a simple password is like you locking your door with a string, of course, which is not wise at all. Your password should be very hard for people to guess, but should be easy for you to remember. So strong passwords usually have mix of letters, special characters, and numbers. So the last point is I have requested you to take your time and first think of the password you have maybe decided to use for your Facebook account. Is it related to your name? Is it related to someone that you love? Is it related to something that you like? Is it related to your country? Because these are some information that most people use when creating password. You may decide to use your mother's name for your password, or your father's name for the password, or one of your or anything that you like. But that is not the right way for you to make your password. So how do we create a password? So here is a checklist. You should never use personal names or information in your password. Most importantly, never share this in password with anyone. I have put there, even your pet. Of course, pet are animals that we keep. Of course, even if you tell a pet your password, it will not know. But the point is, we know that wolves have ears. Okay? So wolves have ears. You do not know who might be listening. That's why it is only you who must know your password. So a strong password should have at least one number, at least one symbol, at least one lowercase and uppercase letter, and minimum should be 7 characters long, not less than that. 7 characters should be the minimum length of your password. So why is it that the password should have a minimum of 7 characters? It is because there are different types of attacks that are usually done that can easily retrieve passwords which are short, like dictionary attack. Okay, I will explain to you some of them. Dictionary, they are not in the presentation because I wanted to minimize the size or the length of the PPT. Dictionary attack is a type of brute force attack which relies on the habit of picking basic words, because there are some people who can use a word as their password. So if you use a word as your password, for example, since I'm from South Sudan, I decide to put my password as South Sudan, then I'm likely to fall a victim of dictionary attack. An attacker can easily get my password using dictionary attack. Because South and Sudan are words which can easily be found. Another type of attack that can be performed is brute force. So brute force is trying all the possible passwords available. Of course, when performing this, it takes days and sometimes even months for your password to be cracked. Brute force attack usually takes long from its name because it is trying all the possible passwords that are out there. That is known. They try and see which one will rhyme with yours. Another type of attack is man in the middle attack. How this happens is when a sender sends a message to the receiver, the hacker might be in the middle and tries to pick the content that you are sending while it is still in motion. Of course, the regular or the normal users, they cannot know, because you know, once you press the send button, the other person at the other end receives the message and also replies you. But at the background, there is that transmission. During the transmission, a hacker can have access to the content before it reaches the destination. And if they have access to the content before it reaches to the destination, the advantage that we may have is if that message is encrypted. Because If the message is encrypted, it will take very long time for them to break it. But by that time, the message would have already reached its destination. So WhatsApp is one of the applications that use strong encryption, and that's why it is safe for us to use WhatsApp. It's only the sender and the receiver who will know the content of the message received. So another type of attack in which your password may be taken is called phishing. P-H-I-S-H-I-N-G, phishing. How can your password be taken there? A hacker can duplicate the exact, let's say you are a regular user of Amazon. You have an account with Amazon and you usually buy things online in Amazon. So next time you log in, you are thinking you are logging in into Amazon, but you are logging in into a different website. But the website will have the same GUI, which is the graphical user interface, what you'll be seeing, the same website of Amazon duplicated. And you'll be asked to enter your credentials. And once you're going to purchase something, they'll also ask, of course, the ATM number, and then you have to give your password if you're buying something online. So in case all those details you are entering into the duplicated website, then you can become a victim of phishing attack. Now all your credentials, all your bank information, everything is with the hacker. So how can you avoid to fall victim to first see the URL of a website before you click on it? Any URL having HTTPS at the end, S at the end will be safe. Of course, not all of them are safe, but they are safer than the ones ending with HTTP. Because the S at the end makes it secure. And that is how you'll minimize the possibility of being exploited online. There are very many of them. I cannot mention all. We have keyloggers. We have credential stuffing. Keylogger is possible only if the person has access to your computer. That's why to your device actually. That is why you need to always be careful with what kind of people have access to your devices. Attacks are always not online. They can also be offline from your place of work. Because keylogger attack can be done only by your colleague at workplace because they are the ones who can have access directly to your physical device. And if they have access and they can log in, a keylogger is basically a program, okay? It is a program that is written in order to record all the keys that a person has typed from the time they log in into the system until when they shut down the system. Everything that you have typed on the keyboard will be recorded. That is what we call as keyloggers. So those are some of the ways, some of the things that happens online. And for you to be safe, you need to have a strong password which contains these features that I have told you. And you need to be careful of the links that you click on. Not everything that is good is actually good. And you need also, I know most people, all of us, we do like free things. So free Wi-Fi's, you should at least try to avoid if possible. Anything free is usually not free at the end of the day. So with this, it comes to the end of the online safety, and then we shall be coming to how to make good decisions. Okay, this is also a part of online safety. How do you make good decisions online? So as a digital citizen, you'll soon be spending a lot of time on the internet exploring all kinds of news, opinions, and stories. So to stay focused and aware of the content you're creating and consuming, you need to think critically about it. Critically thinking cuts through the noise online. You need to be able to think clearly about all information you find online. Not everything online is actually true. So whatever you get, you need to question yourself if it is actually true or not. And for that, you need to use the TEC tool, where T is think, E is evaluate, and C is choose. Once you read something and you're not sure if it is true or not, you first need to think. And then you evaluate it. Then you finally choose what to do about that particular information. So in the part of thinking and evaluating, you need to ask these questions. After analyzing all the information, let's say that you came across a blog. So you need to check who wrote that blog. And who is it aimed at? Who will know about that particular blog, and where does this information come from, and what are the sources? And then who might be funding that? But the most important thing is what we call as gut feeling, or the inner voice that usually comes, which usually speak to us. Sometimes we need to listen to that for our own safety. When you feel that something is not right, it is actually not right. And you need to be careful about it. So with that, it marks the end of online safety or security. So any question that you have is highly welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ulak. That was excellent there. And I see already a hand from Gale. Gale, you can ask your question. 1 minute strictly. Let us not talk a lot. Just question.
Thank you so much. This is a very fascinating presentation. I just have a quick question. Is it safe to save our passwords on online platforms like Gmail, like Facebook, that you can easily go click with that, enter the password again?
Yes, Ulak, he's asking, like this case where you are signing in on Chrome and then Chrome asks you whether you want to save the password. So he's asking whether it is safe or it is not. That is question number 1. Question number 2, Kenyi Nason Felix, you are welcome.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to ask this question. Majorly, I've been seeing, especially in the issue of hacking, we have been seeing not only in the social media, even in the telephones, we find that sometimes MTN, you find a call coming from MTN and started telling you about some winnings. In fact, it is a bit confusing. I don't know what do we do?
Oh yeah, that is in Uganda mostly. That is in Uganda. Thank you so much.
Exactly.
So Ulak is asking
Exactly.
cases, he's asking cases where like someone that is actually a vissing attack, where somebody a vissing scam, where somebody calls you and says, hey, you have won this amount, or somebody says, hey, you have gotten this job, so for you to get it, you pay me this amount of money. So that's what he's asking. And then we had a hand from Roba. Yes, Roba, you're welcome. Roba, are you there? After Roba, and then Ojara, and then Moro. Roba, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you getting me?
Yes, we are getting you.
Okay. Good afternoon to all. My question is like this. How do we get to know that our password is secure? And if possible, can we be shown really how to see the strength of our password? Because I know there's a way we can see how strong the password is so that we can eradicate those small errors. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I think Ulak should be able to show us that practically. Ulak, she's asking whether there's a tool that you can use to check the strength of a password, and if there is, then you should show them how that they can go about that. And over to you, Ojara Charles, and then lastly Moro.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, I would like the presenter, because I myself right now I've got the knowledge to differentiate between the duplicating website and the original. So how can a common citizen be aware about that? Because now it become so that our citizen don't become a victim of being cheated by the intelligent software engineers or criminals. Thank you.
Okay, Ulak, so he's talking about how this message can be taken down to the layman. And lastly, Moro, you're welcome.
Yeah, Ulak, thank you so much for enlightening us. And my question was asked by one of these ladies, but simply I just want to know about how people get access, sometimes to even emails. How do the hackers, because sometimes people even say they are hackers who are healthy. So how do they get our information? Like,
okay, I think, okay, great. So Ulak, he's asking like, how do these hackers get their emails, get their phone numbers, and stuff like that? And lastly, maybe Daniel Garang. Daniel Garang, 1 minute only for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. What I just want to ask also is about the issue of password and then those applications that might be getting the information on the background. One about the issue of password is that what if I use the authentication? Is it still possible to act? Because I'm one of those people also who hate complicated password, and I would just prefer using two-factor authentication. That's one. And then another one is the issue of the application that maybe take information on the background. How do you know those applications, that this application is actually taking the information on the background, yet you see it's actually performing for you very well? So those are two things that I just want to also get clarification on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for the questions. I hope, Ulak, you have noted them. Over to you with the answers.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you all for the questions asked. The first, I think, is about saving passwords online. The other one is how to know if your password is strong enough. Then how to identify phishing, how hackers get details. And then there are the other one who said you'll get calls from maybe MTN saying this and that. And then the last is how to identify a Trojan. Basically a software that you use offering you services, and at the background, it is taking your data. Okay, saving passwords. It is usually the site, the website that you have visited that will ask you to save your password, so that next time, if you visit them again, you do not have to enter the password for the second time. Well, my suggestion is, if you are certain that that is a legitimate website, maybe like a government website, if you are applying, let's say that you are applying for a visa, and then they ask you to save your credentials so that next time you just tap and log in. Well, that is where you have to make your decision. Personally, I usually don't do that because I'm cautious about my privacy. Being online, earlier on, I said it will mostly, at the end of it all, come to you, the user, to decide. Sometimes they'll ask you to click on the cookies. So websites that I said earlier on, ending with the S at the end, HTTPS, they are usually secure. And if you trust whatever content you are receiving from that website, then you can go ahead. But it should not be a one-time thing. Like if you have used the website for the first time and then they're asking for that, I don't think so. You need to use it more than once so that you are aware of its security. If it is really secured, to keep your information after you have given them safely, then you may go ahead and save your passwords. Otherwise, I don't recommend you to do that. Secondly, for you to check if the password is strong or not, yeah, some sites, if you are opening and then you give a password, they may themselves suggest to you that the password is not strong enough and you need to change it with something better. So for software that are specific for this, I know one which is basically for business, but it cannot guarantee that your password is actually safe. So a strong password, in my opinion, should have no connection with you, the user. Like I am Ulak Matthew, I cannot use one of my names in my password. But in case I decide to use, then at least I have to use some characters and numbers which are not like numbers which are not related to my birthday or the year in which I was born. It should be some random number that I know that at the end of it all I can still remember. So for you to check if the password is strong or not, I'm not certain of that as of now, because there is no password which is strong enough not to be cracked. If someone is determined to get your details, they will still be able to get them. It is the matter of just you making it hard for them to be able to crack. That's why it is advisable. Of course, not everyone follows it, but it is advisable that you need to change your passwords regularly. After some time interval, you need to change the password to another one, just for your own safety. Okay. So coming to how to identify phishing attack, this duplicating of website, it is only people who are in a rush that can fall victim. Because with the phishing attack, you will still be able to identify some differences between the website that is in front of you and the actual website, which is for the company or the organization that you are a member of. Most of these phishing websites are at the bottom, they do not have this copyright thing, this copyright symbol. And also there might be some little grammatical error that you'll be able to spot. That's why when you are accessing things online, you need to take time. You need to take time before clicking, which was the first point I made earlier on, that make sure that whatever you click is safe. Okay. And that's this one, that how hackers get details. Hackers don't get details. It is us who give them the details. Okay. It is us who gives hackers details. Like SQL injection, okay, it is also one of the attacks. Someone can decide to write a code and say you write a program and send it to the web. This one has no specific target. It is aimed at anyone who will not be careful enough to click on that link. There, they don't have to be that this is specific for Ulang Matthew or this is specific for X. But whoever is going to click on that link, they will become the victim of the hacker. So usually hackers, they do not have our information. We are the one who give them. We give them via social engineering, and I will explain that shortly, which is the fifth question. Like he said, you receive call from so-and-so saying that you have won this and that, you have to do this and that in order to get. So how this social engineering works is, like if I'm interested in one of you, and I know that you are on Facebook, and on Facebook there you have put your number, your contact number, and I'm in need of using that number of yours for something. Let me say that I want to use your number to open my Telegram account, your number. So what I will do is I take that number from Facebook and I first try if it is actually working. If it is working, then now I'll go and download the Telegram and I start account opening process. Okay. Of course, it will require a number, so I'll give you a number. But before I send them your number, I know that they are going to send you a code for verification. Okay. And that code, it is only you who is going to get, not me. So I have to get a way to make you send that code to me. So I'll just decide to either call you directly or I text you via WhatsApp, because I know most people are using WhatsApp. So in case you are on WhatsApp, I will text you on WhatsApp. Of course, you will see that this number is from your country, but that will come afterwards, because the message that I will send to you should be something that will make you uncomfortable. I may decide to write you that I am from WhatsApp administration, and I have realized that this number of yours is being used by two people. Okay, you and someone else. So what I have decided is, I have asked Telegram to send a code to both of you. Okay, Telegram to send a code to both of you. And the first person to send me that code is the actual owner of the number, and the other account will be deleted. So with that, now you'll be thinking, of course, this is my number and I'm the one using it. So now who is the other person that is using my number? You see, there I am practicing what is called social engineering. I'll be leaving you thinking, how is it possible that someone is using your WhatsApp number and yet it is only you who is using the number? Then shortly you'll receive a code from Telegram, just like the way I had already informed you. So what will you do? Of course, you are going to send me the code, because you do not want your account to be deleted. You do not want your WhatsApp account to be deleted. So you'll send me the code, and that is it. Now I have access to use your number for my own good. So that is how people fall victims. Social engineering, basically, they make you uncomfortable to the point that you will end up doing something that you cannot do when you are in your normal senses. And the last question, that how are we able to identify applications that do harm at the background and does good generally? That such application, like those that fall under Trojan attack, they are not, you cannot detect them. Unfortunately, you cannot detect them because these are passive attacks. Okay, they are passive attack. They do not do any harm to you. They just collect your information. They collect information and give to me. And that is the problem here. Your information is stolen and you do not know about it. And it can be used somewhere without your knowledge. Sadly, passive attacks cannot be detected, but active, which is like the most things that I have explained earlier, those are active. You can know that you have actually been hacked. That is, those ones fall under active attacks. That is what people are trying to solve. But the passive attacks is very hard to detect because they are silent. So it will be very hard for you to identify Trojan, but there are some features. You'll realize that after you have installed that application or that tool, some things happen to your system. Maybe if your computer used not to freeze, one thing you realize is that after you have installed this software for some days, from nowhere now your computer is freezing. And also sometimes it goes off alone or restarts on its own. That is whereby these are some of the things that you should know. Those are some what signs for you to know that there is something happening in the background on your system. So it is you to find out which are the latest applications that you had installed in your computer. Because before you install them, the whole system was working perfectly. But after you have installed them, now the system is misbehaving. That is the only way you can know that something is happening to your computer, but you cannot know the actual thing. Okay. So I hope I have made the clarity on those points. And if there is any that I left out, you can remind me, but I think I have tackled all of them.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yes.
So, sorry for cutting you short. As you, yeah, you clearly stated about the issue of the website.
Yes.
About safe websites that we can easily deal with. And now that we have some websites that start with www. How do we identify those?
No, all websites start with www. But before the www, there is HTTPS, right? There is HTTPS or there is HTTP. In most cases, I will suggest you to use the ones having HTTPS because they are more secured than the ones that have HTTP. Because HTTP, it stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So HTTPS is the secured version of this Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Is it okay?
All right, thank you. I was just trying to get some clarification whether some websites only have www without HTTPS.
Before the www, there you'll before the www, there is HTTP or HTTPS. Then now it comes to www maybe .google.com. Okay. So that is
okay. Yeah, thank you so much for answering the questions. There was a hand from Roba. Roba wanted to add something, and then I'm seeing a hand from Magendo. Yes, yeah. Roba, we're giving you 1 minute. And then Magendo, is that Magendo or something?
Yeah, Magendo, yeah.
Yes, Magendo, 1 minute for you.
Well, thank you very much. I just have one question I wanted to ask. Now, in case if you may have come maybe under this Trojan attack, and what are the quick measures that you can take to save yourself out of it after you already have been maybe attacked? What are the measures that you can take? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And then, yeah, Roba, are you there still? You were saying you wanted to add something. Okay,
yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. Okay, thanks once again. Because we're learning from each other, and there's something on password security, like how you determine the strength of your password. This is something I also learned some few days ago. Like, to check the strength of your password, you can go on Google and you type, how secure is my password? Once you type that, you will get the password strength tool with a box that will allow you to type in your password. after typing in your password, they will show you the strength of your password. Others will be broken within seconds, others within minutes. So this is something I feel I should also let the group know, because I also learned it from somewhere. This was what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Roba.
You're welcome.
Yes. Getting to, is it Magendo? Yes. Magendo, you say that what will be the quickest solution for you once you are a victim of that Trojan? The only thing is for you to change the operating system, because once it starts happening like that, you just need to change the operating system and then you are safe again. Is it okay? So after you have started seeing those things happening, you just have to replace the whole operating system again and you'll be safe. That is for what you have asked.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know how many slides are left because we are left with 8 minutes to wrap up the session. Do you think you can cover up, or
this
you
one
need
I can summarize in less than 5.
Okay, perfect. But if you can finish, that is okay. Okay. So yeah, you can proceed now.
Okay, so the last part is creating opportunities online. So online, the thing we know is just networking basically, because you're going to meet with other people, you share ideas with them, you learn from each other. So networking is one of the building blocks of creating wealth. We know that if you want to be wealthy, you need to learn from the rich on how to make money. So connecting with opportunity is about connecting with the right people. This is what we call networking. So, and you need to be specific about who you connect with. Okay? The people you connect with, you need to know who they are. And there is this saying that it is not what you know, it is who you know. This is for networking. Now, what are those opportunities that you can create online? There are so many of them, but I've decided to take only these few here. The first is sell your photos. Of course, I do not mean your actual photos. Those who are into photography, if you are into photography, you can be able to make money online. When you take good photos, you'll be able to sell to those gallery websites and you'll earn some cash. Okay, that is one way in which you can create opportunity for yourself online. The second is to create how-to videos. These are videos like how to do this and that. And this can be done on YouTube, using TikToks. And at the end of it, at the end of the day, you'll start earning money for the videos that you are creating. Third, you turn your interests into podcast that pays. Podcast is more like audio. You record a session. After recording, you upload it up to the cloud. And whoever wants to access must pay some money for it. Of course, for you to get many people, you need to give little part of it for free so that it captures their interest. Like if they listen to it, they may need to finish the whole thing to know, to get the complete information. So with the podcast or with the, podcast or these short videos, you need to give little of it for free in order just to capture people so that they'll be able to pay for the whole content. And in return, you'll be getting money for that. That is one of the opportunities of making money online. And the second is setting up a content and also a web development business. You cannot say you are not from IT background, but with determination, everything is possible. Earlier on, we saw some tools like Wix and WordPress, which can be used by anyone to develop a website. So it is possible for you to enter into that business also online. And then another one is you try drop shipping. Drop shipping is where I have a friend or I have some people that is based now on networking, of course. You know some people who are selling things at a particular price. Then you come and advertise those things on their behalf, but you put the price little bit high, okay? So when someone orders from you, then you can contact the person who is selling to sell it to that person, and you get your payment, and then you pay the other colleague. So the money that will remain from the transaction is what will be a share. That is what we call as drop shipping. Okay, you'll become a businessman basing on other people's products, and you are making your money while they are also making their money. That is not bad. Everyone is benefiting. And another one is blog. You can create your blog and make your posts there and attract people, okay? And with time, then you can commercialize it and start earning. So there are very many others, like teaching English courses. You become a tutor, become a life coach. There are so many opportunities out there. It is you to see which one is suitable for you, and then you pursue it. And those are the advantages we have by accessing the net, actually. So this will mark the end of our today's session. And back to you, Mr. Emmanuel Bida.
Perfect, perfect. Very good time management skills and a very excellent presentation. A round of applause to you, and thank you so much. I thought Capoeira will be that bad with the internet, so it means Capoeira is better than Torid when it comes to internet. Yeah, because you haven't really been interrupted, and the session just really went as we had planned. This is really good, and we also hope for the same tomorrow. So in case, and then there was a concern from Lemery that some of the explanation that you made when you are answering the questions, if possible, if you find time, you can include them in some of the slides so that they also get insight into that. So this is time for. We are going to give. So we are asking for 10 minutes of your time, all the participants, and we have shared the attendance. Please register your attendance because it helps us later on give out the certificates. We do not want issues where someone's name is not in attendance and then the person will claim the certificates. And then also there were some links to the tools that Woodluck shared. I shared the links earlier in the chat, and then Nancy was compiling them in a Google Word, in a Microsoft Word document. So she will share the document in the WhatsApp group later. And then the attendance, like I said, please do fill it. And then we will have one sort of poll that you will have to fill out before we leave. So I am launching the poll. And then also if you have a question, the poll is launched. So please answer those polls. And if you have comments, some of you are from a digital security or from a digital literacy background. I see Ahmed, I don't know if Ahmed is still around. And then I see David Uku. These are people from sort of online. And then I see also Modi from online background. So please, if you would like to make extra comments to the presentation, or if you have questions, so that like most of us get to get knowledge from each other, you are very welcome. Meanwhile, please fill out the poll. You should be seeing it on your screen. Yes, I see a hand from Ojara Charles. Ojara, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. I've appreciated the presentation. It's very good. Of which my queries is about the WeTransfer and the Google Drive, of which they are very good tool for transferring large documents like photos, audios, and videos. This one is a little bit very complicating. A colleague whom I was with in the school, he was trying to transfer some of the pictures to the girlfriend. Unfortunately, the next day, some of the picture appeared in one of the newspaper. So do we think WeTransfer or Google Drive are the best tool for sharing a document? That is one. But the second one is not a question, but also more, I need a more clarification on that area. Like when you are handling networking, that sell your photo or sell the product you are good in. Take the scenario, those who are specializing in photography, they deal in photos after taking some pictures. These are the same product you are supposed to portray to the viewer so that other institutions who need the photos or need to employ you will see out of the product or the service you are offering. Thank you.
Yes. Would you like to answer that question, or you would want more questions, Ulak, first before you answer?
If there are more, let them just send them at once.
Okay. Yeah, so is there any person who has a question or has? Yes, Moro, I see your hand is up. If you have a question, please raise your hand.
Yes, something was coming into my head in regards to hackers and also people who like interfere with people with information. Like as a country, do we have any laws or guidance that really protect citizens from being online? Like being online, does the government have any law or any other umbrella that protects us being online? Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we have got a new Moro.
Okay.
Any other question or comment, guys?
Good afternoon. This is Ahmed. You had mentioned my name, and I was silently following.
Yeah, please, you may comment, especially from the perspective of Zain. You know, there's Mgrush, like currently, and then there's issues of that because Zain is an internet service provider. So you may maybe give us sort of internet security tips, come on.
I actually don't have anything to add on to what the facilitator has already mentioned, because he made a complete summary of the training from start to finish. And
excellent.
What I just wanted to say is, if this training that the participants are getting here can be extended to a larger community, it will give us a very big boost, because based on the statistics that we have in South Sudan, we have more than 4 million phone users, and these phone users are always they do access internet, and a lot of people are so vulnerable to attacks from different corners. And South Sudan not having the laws in place, as you know, being an expert in the field, you know it very well that we survive through the help of the particular individuals and some smaller organizations like you who are trying to build the capacity from one end to another. And to the facilitator, being a lecturer or a professor at one of the universities, I believe such training should also be, should be introduced at the campuses, of the universities to make sure that when people like the students complete their studies, they go to the field well equipped, not only necessarily for the IT students. Thank you very much.
Excellent comments there, Ahmed, and I really love your input. Yes, please. Is that Leju?
This is Deng John. This is Deng John.
Yes, Deng John. Yes, Deng John.
Yes, I'm deeply impressed with the instructor, but I'm coming to the side of the sheet that is being filled, the attendance sheet. I'm not finding my option in the list. So I've just decided. My name is there, but the organization that I work for is not being added to the list.
You choose freelance. Choose freelance.
Okay, I've already chosen freelance. I thought it would be having a problem. So no, I chose that.
Okay.
Thank you.
There are no more questions, so you can just answer. Yes, who is that?
This is Modi.
Yes, Modi, you're welcome.
Okay, thanks so much for giving me the chance. All in all, I think, as Ahmed said, presenter has already made everything loud and clear. And it's just a matter of us now who have been attending, for example, those ones who have not been exposed so much to the net and what, to pick up from what has been taught today and they implement it. All in all, security is our own, it's on a personal perspective. Once you learn things, you have to take it so serious. And you really make sure that you are not being attacked in one way or the other, because the training teaches us all corners of how to be safe online. Thank you.
So much. Modi is somebody who is passionate about digital literacy, and thank you so much for joining us today. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Yes, Kenyi Nason, and then we also Kenyi John. Who is going first?
Kenyi Nason is already online. Yes.
Okay, you can continue, and then we come to Kenyi John.
I think. First and foremost, I wanted to congratulate the organizers of this training. It has given us a broad understanding, mostly in this digital, where sometimes we do confuse in most of the things. When you wanted to log into, whether sign up for any account, sometimes there will be a suggestion passwords that are given, and these suggestion passwords sometimes we feel insecure in most of the times. So with this, I think it is giving us understanding that we need to create that strong password for ourselves, not the suggested ones, because we may not know what will happen next. Secondly, we could have not come across the attendance. I don't know how do I do. That is my concern. Thank you.
Okay, Kenyi, the attender is in the chat box. You look for the chat. If you're using a phone, go to more and then click those three dots and you will see chat. So you will find the attendance there.
It's okay.
Yeah, and then Kenyi John, you're welcome. 1 minute, please.
Yeah. Let me hope everyone is getting me.
Yeah, we're getting you.
Okay, I have only 2 questions. One is regarding the the email password. You know, if we log into some of the platforms, they ask you for the email and they ask you to give the password of the email. So my question is, how secure is that? And then secondly, in case one falls sort of like this, you have already given out some password or numbers and some scammers, they have already got access to the information. Is there any way in which you can retrieve or you can make sure things don't go worse? Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, Buba from Gambia.
Yes, thank you very much, Emmanuel. What I wanted to find out is, sometimes you have these scammers or this cyber bullying that happens on the internet. I want to know, how do you normally report this, and how do you track them? Like, for instance, if you know you are now a victim of cybercrime, how do you try to get yourself out of it? That's one of the things I want to ask.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. But from some of the questions will really be addressed. They're really pointing to tomorrow's session, but Ulak will give you a better response. Yes, Susan, lastly.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm grateful for the presentation. It has been a nice session. What I wanted to is I don't see my name on the attendance.
Just inbox me your name. You put your name in the chat box, and I should be able to include it. Ulak, over to you to answer the questions on issues of whether there's a law and yeah, another question that you might have noted. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel Bida. The first was asking about Google Drive and WeTransfer. I personally, I can say that Google Drive is one of the most secure tools you'll find on the net, because Google, they really focus on security. So what you said about your colleague, I'm not certain if he really shared the link to his Google Drive to his friend in order to access the photos. He might have used a different application to send the photos. Sometimes back, maybe it might have been Messenger, but these days Messenger is, at least the security has been improved. It is improving actually, but not to that capacity of WhatsApp. So I can say that Google Drive is safe. WeTransfer is safe as well. Okay, so probably your colleague didn't use one of these two. And the one who asked about photography, yes, I say that you can sell your photos online to make money, and also to showcase your creativity, and probably for you to end up getting also a job. But you should also note, you cannot share someone's photo without their consent. My point of saying that sell your photos is where it is mostly focused on nature, okay? If you take photos of nature, yes, that one you can sell them. But if it is for an individual, a fellow human being like you first have to get permission from that person before selling their photos. Because that, once you do that, you have already invaded someone's privacy, and that is not good. So if you are doing photography as your profession, yeah, you can sell the photos, but make sure that you do it with the consent of your clients. About law governing online, being online in South Sudan, no, we don't have law that governs us here. So that the answer is definitely no. We don't have.
Hey, Ulak.
Yes. Yeah.
We have a provisional order. We have a cyber security provision order that was signed into law last year.
Last year.
Yeah, okay. And then there's a prosecution attorney office there's a public prosecutor for cyber crimes there's offices High Cinema opposite the former Star University. So we have a provisional order, but there's no actual law.
No actual law, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. This is also one of the things I got to know today. And
I will share it in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, you share with me, yeah. Ahmed, you commented about more people to be reached. Yes, with the Excellence Foundation, we are working hand in hand, and with the time from now, we usually start small, and as time goes, we also grow and we reach more people. So that we shall put into consideration to reach more people. And that how secure is password in those websites that ask you to give your credentials. Well, the websites that ask you to give them your credentials are the websites in which their content is restricted. Okay, they restrict their content, and once you want to have access to the whole of it, you first have to register with them. That one will basically be your decision as the user. But you really need to focus on the URL, which is basically the link or the address you'll get on top there. If it is safe, you may go ahead, but if it is not secured, I will not suggest you to do that. Okay. And there was one that how can you, if you have been a victim of attack, how can you report? It is actually being online, as earlier on I said, comes with opportunities and also with the setbacks. You may be here in South Sudan and then your attacker may be somewhere, maybe South Africa or in Ghana or in Nigeria. So the mechanism for reporting such things is not yet in place, but the well-known, because there are some people who are well-known already, some are captured and others are still being looked for. But minor people that are not known, it will be very hard for them to be traced. Even if you report, it will be very hard for them to be located. Because in case if I want you to become my victim, and I know that when I access the net, my location will be known. Okay, so like now I'm in Capoeira, my location will be known that I'm in Capoeira. So for me not to allow that to happen, I cannot use these normal browsers like Google. Okay, that is why most of those who do crime on work, they use the Tor, T-O-R. Tor is the browser into crime online, because there I'm here, but it will be showing that I'm in New York. So it will be very hard for them to locate me. Unless they bring really those who are very advanced in security, those who have really specialized in cyber security, then they may be able to track me, but it will take very long time before they can reach. And by the time they are going to locate my position, I will have been somewhere else. Okay, so the only suggestion is for you to minimize the possibility of becoming a victim. And also, this suggestion of you changing your password regularly is of an advantage that can also help you. I think that is all I have to add. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And any other questions can be put in the WhatsApp group. Ulak is there and he should be able to respond once he gets some of the questions. I have already shared the cyber security and computer misuse provisional order in the WhatsApp group, so some of you should be able to access. I am ending the poll and then sharing the results. I all see the results. I see number one, most of you messed up. So what do digital citizens create when they use the internet? So when you use the internet, you create what we call digital footprints. You don't create digital tools. I see majority of you saying you create digital tools. No. When you use the internet as a digital citizen, you create what is called a digital footprint. Like digital footprint here refers to your interaction, like what you post, what you comment, and those things. So those things that you do on the internet, they talk a lot about you, and then they become your footprint on the internet. So when you interact, you create your digital footprint, not digital tool, as many of you have said. And then number two, what are the ABCs of digital literacy? So of course we have accessibility, we have safety, and then we have access, we have the connection. And then the most common aspect of digital citizenship is, of course, protecting your privacy. This is very important. And then number four, digital literacy helps you to think better as a digital citizen. And what tools are built into your mobile phone? Yeah, we have GPS, Wi-Fi, camera, mobile browser, and social media applications. Yeah, that is the correct answer. And what is a Google search? Yeah, so Google search is a search engine. And lastly, once you set up your mobile phone, the next thing you should do is to make sure that you update your privacy settings. Otherwise, thank you all. The next session is tomorrow to cover up some of the things that we miss. Let's all meet tomorrow and have the very best of your Saturday.